Hello. So I want to come on and do another video for success series. Kind of want to do so part 3. This time I want to talk about just don't be so hard on yourself. And right, I'll kind of just remind you guys, like part one was about why, finding your why are you doing things, why do you get up in the morning, why do you go to work, why do you do the things that you do, and having that be able to drive you. Yesterday, part 2 was about showing up, right? So once you have your why, you got to show up. You got to put your skin in the game, right? You got to show up to the field. You got to practice. You got to do all those things. So today, naturally, I guess part 3 would be not to be so hard on yourself, because I feel that like once you start showing up, right, you're not going to be professional right away. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fuck up. You're going to like things are going to happen, right? There's going to be a learning curve. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be growing pains. There's going to be like there's like a million different things that could happen, right? So the biggest thing is like don't be so hard on yourself. You're not going to be perfect right off the bat. I mean, even like again, right? I love soccer, so I'm going to always use soccer analogies. Like Messi is the best player in the world, at least in my opinion. Guess what he does every single day? He practices, right? He shows up and he practices. I'm like he was born with natural talent, but like he wasn't the best player in the world when he was born. He had to work hard and show up and make mistakes and stuff. Like the first time he played for Argentina, he got kicked out of the game at 1 minute in, right? If he had been hard on himself, then he could have like kicked himself and all that stuff and just kind of been like, fuck, like I fucked up. And it's really key, right? Because being hard on yourself is what kind of makes people quit. And they're like, oh, like I failed, I kind of sucked and things like that. And they start to give up once they start just being down on themselves. So biggest thing, right? Don't be so hard on yourself. And I do it all the time. That's why like I'm talking about this, like especially at soccer. Like even if I scored 3 goals at my soccer game, and then I missed a chance that I should score. I'm like, fuck, like I missed that 1 goal, and that one like sticks in my mind more than like the 3 goals that I did score. So it's really, really important, right? And then I kind of let myself get down on that instead of being like, yeah, you know what? I scored 3 goals. So what if I missed that one? So it's really important. One thing that I learned this past weekend, well, I learned it last year, but it kind of got further ingrained into my mind this past weekend as I got to redo the course as a helper, as a volunteer this time. Part of it is just separating yourself from your experiences, right? Like so when people say like, oh, like let's take failure, for example, right? Like, oh man, like I failed, or I am dumb, or I'm a failure, and like things like that. It's like, just like separate yourself from that, right? So like if we say I am a failure, you're saying that you are a failure, instead you could say I am experiencing failure, and see like the difference in how that makes you feel, right? Because you're not a failure. You might be experiencing the concept of failure, or you might be experiencing like the thought of being a failure, but you're not a failure, right? So it's one tool that really, really helps me, and it really, really helps a lot of the people that were in the course and things like that, is right. It's like just having that distinction, having that separation from the things that you do or that you don't do well, because then it's just like, even try it, right? Like even if you take anger, and if you say like, if you close your eyes and just, you can kind of experiment with it, right? Like you close your eyes and say I am angry, and then keep your eyes closed and say I'm experiencing anger, right? And just kind of notice like the difference in the energy that brings to you. And so that's definitely one tool that can really, really help on not being so hard on yourself, because you're gonna make mistakes at the beginning. Even like, I'll give you an example. Like I did Toastmasters tonight. I got the best speaker award for the night for my club, and I was kind of expecting it today because I thought I killed it. I'll actually post the video. I recorded my speech tonight, and so I'll upload that tomorrow. When I'm at the office right now, there's a course that starts tomorrow, so I'm kind of here. I had to drop some things off, but on my last speech, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was like, oh man, like I was really nervous going into it, and I was like, fuck, like I'm gonna fuck this up. And like even during the speech while I was doing it in my head, I was like, oh, like the speech isn't very good, like this sucks, like I should have just not done it. And even when I finished, I was like, oh fuck, like it was horrible. And I also got the best speaker award that night too. So it just shows that like when we're hard on ourselves, we're what's the word I'm looking for? When we're hard on ourselves, we tend to downplay how awesome we really are, right? Like that whole time I was beating myself up, telling myself the speech wasn't good, that I was fucking it up, and all these things, and I got the best speaker of the night that night. So that's two speeches in a row now that I've gotten best speaker, and I've been telling myself, oh, like it's not good, blah blah blah, and all that. But based on feedback, based on results, I'm fucking killing it. So don't be so hard on yourself. Remember, separate yourself from those experiences, and like give yourself some credit, right? Like you're showing up, because even if you like show up and like, let's just keep using Toastmasters. Even if I did get like the worst speaker of the night, worst speaker of the year, or whatever, you know who I'm doing better than? All the fucking people that didn't show up, right? So even if, let's move to soccer, like if I, hey Crystal, so even if soccer, like if I show up and I kick the ball into the wrong net, I'm the worst soccer player on the field and all that, you know who I'm still better than? I'm still better than all the fucking people that didn't show up and didn't put their shoes on and are sitting on the sidelines and all that shit, right? So just by showing up, you're better than freaking most people, because a lot of people don't show up. A lot of people just sit at home and kind of wish and dream and say, oh, I'll show up when I'm ready or when I feel good and all that shit. Like it's, right? So no matter what, even if you're like the worst whatever in the world, you're better than everybody that's fucking sitting at home just dreaming about it, right? So give yourself some credit just for showing up, and keep showing up. Because if you keep showing up, you're gonna keep getting better and better and better. And then that will build your confidence, right? That will make you a professional eventually, right? Because even Messi practices every day. So that's kind of all I want to say for tonight. I will upload my Toastmasters speech tomorrow. It was about leadership. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Share this with maybe people that you think are too hard on themselves, because share that tool with them, right? Separate yourself from the experience, because it's different energy when you say I am and I'm experiencing. So yeah, share that with anybody. Watch out for that video tomorrow. And I'm probably gonna be putting these success series on YouTube. So for anyone that's working on things, hey Rayanne. Yeah, so for anyone that's working on things, I'll probably start putting these videos on YouTube. So you can kind of like, if you have a new project that you're starting or something, then you can just start from part 1 and kind of work your way through it. Because I have a couple new things that I'm starting. So I'm gonna start back on part 1 on why, right? So part 1 was why, find your why. Part 2, show up. Part 3, don't be so hard on yourself. Thanks, Crystal, you're a rock star too, right? Like Crystal's a perfect example, right? She's showing up, she's doing the work, and like she's seeing results. So show up, don't be so hard on yourself. I got some work to do, so I will see you guys tomorrow on the video I upload then. Thank you for watching.